Very good morning, children. Children, today we'll discuss chapter number 2, that is units and measurements. Children, as you all know that there are two chapters in unit number 1, physical world and measurement. So first chapter we had completed, and today we'll discuss some important points related to chapter number 2, that is units and measurements. So let us see, children, topics which we have to discuss. So dear students, the topic which we have to learn in these chapters are, there are so many topics in this chapter. So the first topic we have to discuss need for measurements, and after that we have to discuss units of measurements, then system of unit, that is SI units, and after that we have to discuss types of units, that is fundamental and derived units, and after that we have to know the definition of length, mass and time, as well as its measurements. And after that there will be next point, that is accuracy and precision of measuring instruments. And next we have to discuss error in measurement, then significant figure, then dimensional of physical quantity, then dimensional analysis and its application. So these are the topics which we have to discuss in chapter number 2. So first of all we have to discuss the first and foremost topic, that is need of measurement. Dear children, the quantifying anything for study purpose is very essential. For that we need a certain parameter in which that quantity can be represented. This is the reason that's why we need measurements. Dear children, for measuring any quantities, for quantifying the things, it is very essential for all of us to use a parameter which in which that quantity is to be measured, and this is the reason that's why we need measurements. Next, a unit of measurements. Before units, first of all, children, we have to know about physical quantity and its type. So let us discuss first physical quantity. Dear students, the quantity which we can measure is known as physical quantity. So the quantity which we people can able to measure is known as physical quantity. Children, there are two types of physical quantity. Number one is fundamental quantity, and number two is derived quantity. So let us see fundamental quantity. Dear children, the quantity which is the base and cannot be derived from any other quantities is called fundamental quantities. Dear children, the quantity which we cannot derive from any other quantities is known as fundamental quantities. Fundamental quantities are also known as base quantity. There are some example of fundamental quantities, that is length, mass, time, etc., etc. So dear children, the next quantity will be derived quantity. See, the actually it should be the unit. So let us see, dear children, let us see the derived quantity. Derived quantity are those quantity which we can derive from fundamental quantity. So like meter per second is square, kg per meter cube. These all are the derived. Actually, these all are the like density. density, like speed, velocity, these all are the derived quantities. So next we have to discuss types of units. Dear students, types of units, so far we have studied about the types of quantities. There were two types of quantities. One was fundamental quantities, other one was derived quantity. In the same manner, we have to discuss the types of unit. So again, there is two types of unit. One is fundamental unit, other one is derived unit. So first of all, let us see the fundamental units. Children, the units of the fundamental or base quantity are called fundamental unit. So it is also called base unit. The unit of fundamental base quantity are called fundamental unit. फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स उन यूनिट्स को कहते हैं जो कि फंडामेंटल क्वांटिटी या बेस क्वांटिटी की यूनिट्स होती हैं. सो फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स आर आल्सो नोन एज बेस यूनिट्स. देयर आर सम एग्जांपल ऑफ फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स लाइक मीटर, किलोग्राम, सेकंड. दीज ऑल आर द fundamental units because these all are the units of fundamental quantity. That's why this is a fundamental units. So in the same way, let us see next. That is derived unit. It should be derived unit. Dear students, the unit of derived quantity which can be expressed from the base or fundamental quantity are called derived unit. So derived unit are those units can be expressed from the base or fundamental units, and that is known as derived unit. Like for example, meter per second. Meter per second is the unit of either speed or you may say velocity. See, the unit of speed, which is a derived quantity, the unit of speed is meter per second. The unit of speed is derived from fundamental units. That's why this unit is said to be derived unit. In the same way, kg per meter cube and so on. Dear children, next topic C, system of units. System of units we can define as a complete set of both fundamental and derived units is known as system of units. A complete set of both fundamental and derived units is known as system of unit. System of unit फंडामेंटल और डिराइव्ड यूनिट का कंप्लीट सेट होता है स्टूडेंट्स. देयर आर so many types of system of units. So far we have studied in you all have studied about in your class, I think class 9th standard. There were various types of system of units. Here we have to discuss three types of system of units. So let us see different types of different system of units. So dear students, there are various system of units which is to be used for measurement purpose. For example, MKS system of unit, CGS system of unit, and FPS system of unit. These all are the different types of system of units. Here we have given we have taken some physical quantities, some you may say some fundamental quantities like length, mass, time, and correspondingly we have written the name of the units in various system like FPS, CGS, and MKS. For physical quantity length, the unit of length in FPS system is foot, but in CGS system it is centimeter, and in MKS system it is length. In the same way, the unit of mass in FPS system is pound, and in CGS system is gram, and in MKS system is kilogram. In the same way, the unit of time in all the system of units is second. So this table you are supposed to memorize, and after that we have to discuss international system of units and commonly known as SI units. Dear students, the SI system with a standard scheme of symbols, units and abbreviation was developed and recommended by General Conference on Weights and Measurements in 1971 for international usage in scientific, technical, industrial and commercial works. The SI system of units is at present accepted internationally. See children, SI system, that is you may say international system of unit, is nowadays accepted internationally. Like for example, the SI unit of length is meter. So the SI unit of length, that is meter, is accepted internationally, that is all over the world. In the same way, the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin, which is accepted through all over the world. So this is all about international system of units, commonly known as SI units. Dear students, next we have to discuss fundamental units in SI system. There are basically there are 7 fundamental quantities which you are supposed to remember. There are total 7 base quantity, or you may say fundamental quantity, namely length, mass, time, electric current, temperature, light intensity, amount of substances. These all are the 7 fundamental, or you may say base quantity, which is main fundamental physical quantity, you may say. And there are 2 more quantities related to angles, that is one is plane angle and other one is solid angle, that is it is said to be supplementary units. So let us see the table, and in this table we have written here the symbols of fundamental units, their SI units, their and then after their symbols. The first fundamental quantity is length. The symbol of length is capital L, and what will be the SI unit of length? It is meter. And what will be the symbol of SI unit? What will be the symbol of SI unit? That is small m. In the same way, time symbol, SI unit, its symbol, and one more thing is also there. So in the same way, next physical quantity, or you may say fundamental quantity, that is electricity, its symbol, its SI unit and its symbol, then temperature, light intensity, amount of substance, plane angle. See, the symbol of plane angle is d theta, and its SI unit is radian, and the symbol of its SI unit is rad, R-A-D. In the same way, the last quantity is solid angle, and its symbol is here d, you may say omega, and its SI unit will be steradian. And what will be the symbol of SI unit of solid angle? That is SR. So this is the table of fundamental units and its SI units along with symbol. So children, you are supposed to memorize the name of all fundamental quantities, their symbols, their SI units, and the symbol of their SI units. Next, we have taken the definition of meter. This is also an first fundamental quantity, you may say, and you are supposed to uh, supposed to write in your classwork notes. Then after kilogram, and the next definition of SI unit is second, and next definition is about ampere. Ampere, ampere is the SI unit of electric current. And then after, what do you mean by Kelvin? And then sixth one is candela, and after that last one will be mole, that is amount of substances. These definition you are supposed to remember. Next, we have to see, children, there are so many units outside the SI system, namely minutes, hour, days, year, degree, tons, quintal, hectare, standard atmospheric pressure, and their symbols are given. See, the symbol of minute is MIN, you may say, and what will be its value in SI units. So 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. So 60 second is the second is the SI unit of time, but time can also be measured in minute. In the same way, time can also be measured in hours, and period can also be measured in year, and angle can also be measured in degree, and mass can also be measured in tons, in quintals, and area can also be measured in hectares. The pressure, atmospheric pressure, can also be measured in ATM. Children, 1 ATM, that is 1 atmospheric pressure, is equals to 1.013 into 10 raised to the power of 5 Pascal. So these all are also some units other than SI system. So which you are supposed to remember. There are so many units other than SI units. Next, children, measurement of length. Now, as per your syllabus, we have to discuss about the measurement of length, then after measurement of mass, then after measurement of times. So first of all, we have to discuss about measurement of length. Dear students, the order of distances varies from 10 raised to the power of minus 14 meter to 10 raised to the power of 25 meter. See, 10 raised to the power of minus 14 meter, it is so small. And the radius of a nucleus is about 10 raised to the power of minus 14 meter, and 10 raised to the power of 25 meter. See how large it is. See, 10 raised to the power of 25 meter, it is too large, and it is the radius of the universe. So the distance range from 10 raised to the power of minus 5 meter to 10 raised to the power of 2 meter can be measured by direct method, which involve comparison of the distance or length to be measured with the chosen standard length. Let us see some examples related to measurement of length. Number 1, a meter rod can be used to measure distance as small as 10 raised to the power of minus 3 meter. Dear students, 10 raised to the power of minus 3 meter is equivalent to 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is equals to 1 upon 1000 meter. So 1 upon 1000 meter can be written as 10 raised to the power of minus 3 meter. So 1 millimeter is equivalent to 10 raised to the power of minus 3 meter. So children, a meter scale can be measured up to a small length, you may say 1 millimeter only. Beyond that, a meter scale can't measure. What does it means? It means the least count of a meter scale is only 1 mm. Meter scale cannot be measured the distance, or you may say the length, which is less than 1 millimeter. So then what um, next, what will, suppose you want to measure the length which is less than 1 mm. So what we have to do, dear students, there are so many devices for that purpose, and you will study in coming chapters, you may say. So the least count of a meter scale is 1 mm. Beyond that, it can't be measured. A second example, see, a vernier calipers can be used to measure as small as 10 raised to the power of minus 4 meter, that is 0.01 centimeter. It means we can say that the least count of a vernier calipers is 0.01 centimeter. So least count beyond this length, a vernier can't be measured beyond this length. So the least count of a vernier scale is 0.01 centimeter. Dear student, vernier calipers is a kind of device through which we can measure the diameter of a wire, or radius of a wire, or you may say depth of a cylindrical vessel, or thickness of a lamina can also be measured by caliper, can also be measured by vernier calipers. So this is how we can let us see next example number 3, that is a screw gauge. A screw gauge is also kind of device. It is used to measure as small as 10 raised to the power of minus 5 meter, that is 0.001 centimeter. What does it means? It means the least count of a screw gauge is 0.001 centimeter. So the device having small least count is more accurate compared to the device which has large, you may say, least count. So in between 0.01 centimeter and 0.001 centimeter, which one is smaller? Yes, obviously 0.001. So 0.001 is the least count of a screw gauge. So screw gauge is more accurate, more precious compared to vernier calipers for the measuring purpose. So for very small distance or very large distance, indirect methods are also being used. Let us say, children, measurement of large distances. In this we have to discuss in measurement of length. Length may be very large and length may be very small. Very large up to 10 raised to the power of 25. Very small up to radius of nucleus, that 10 raised to the power of minus 14 to 15. So first of all, see the measurement of large distances. There are many methods for measuring large distances, like distance between moon to earth, and distance between sun to earth, and distance between one planets to another planets. So measurement of large distances, the following indirect methods may be used to measure very large distance. The number one methods, which is very important, that is parallax methods. So dear students, see, suppose let us consider a far away planet which is located by point P at a distance d from our two eyes. P is the position of any planet, and the distance of P from or both the eyes, that is left eyes and right eyes, is assumed as capital D. Suppose that the lines joining the planet to the left eye L and the right eye are subtend an angle theta in radian. See the angle between the angle formed by planet to both of eyes of the observer is theta. So theta should be here. You are supposed to know this is theta, children. This is theta. Theta is here. This is theta. Okay, got my point? Very good. So next see. Okay. So the angle theta is called parallax angle or parallactic angle, and the distance, that is LR, is equals to B. The distance LR is given as B is called basis. As the planet is far away from observer, then small d upon capital D can be considered as it is very less than 1, and therefore theta will be very small. So the side LP and LR can be considered as radius, and LR can be considered as an arc, and theta will be the central angle. Therefore, taking the distance LR equals to B as a circular arc of radius D, we have, children, there is a formula. Children, there is a formula that angle is equals to arc upon radius. So angle theta, here arc is LR, that is B, small b, and radius is capital D. So as per the formula, angle is equals to arc upon radius. So angle theta is equals to arc means small b upon radius means capital D. So theta is equals to small b upon capital D. So by transferring capital D to LHS, we get theta, capital D is equals to small b upon theta. So this capital D is what? This is the distance of the planet from the observer, which is on the surface of Earth. So we can conclude that the distance between a planet and Earth's surface can be calculated by this formula. Capital D is equals to small b upon theta, which gives the distance between planet and Earth, you may say. So this is how we can calculate the distance by using parallax methods. One more example is there, children. Suppose dear students, suppose we want to measure the diameter of an astronomical object, namely moon. Suppose we want to calculate the diameter of the moon from where? From the Earth's surface. So what we have to do, what we have to perform, see, if small d is the diameter of moon and alpha is the angular size of the moon, the angle subtended by d at the earth is, then see, for that we have to, for measuring the diameter of an astronomical object, we have to use, children, we have to use telescope. So the alpha is the angle here which can easily be measured from the same location of Earth. Then it is the angle between the two directions when two diametrically opposite points of the planets are viewed through the telescope. So if two positions of moon when observed with the help of telescope, from there we can able to measure the central angle, that is alpha. Since capital D is known, how? From first method, it is from parallax methods. So capital D is known. The diameter small d of planet can now be calculated from the formula that is angle is equals to arc upon radius. So angle alpha is equals to small d upon capital D, or small d is equals to alpha into d. So alpha the product of central angle and the radius, that is the distance between earth and moon. The product of angle and the distance between the moon and earth gives the angular diameter of astronomical object, that is moon. So in this way we can able to calculate the angular diameter of the moon. See, there is another method to calculate the distance, and these methods, about this third method, you all are familiar. Why? Because you all have been studied about this in class 9th sound chapter. So see, so next see, echo methods are reflection methods. So this method is used to measure the distance of a heel or distance underwater, you may say. Suppose there is a condition, there is a case, you may say, a gun is fired towards the heel, and the time interval between the instant of firing the gun and the instant of hearing the echo of the gun shot is noted. The time instant of hearing the echoes as well as the time instant of firing or the sound of firing the gun, if both the time shot is noted, then what will happen? This is the time taken by the sound to travel from the observer to the heel and back to the observer. So in this way we can able to calculate the distance of the target from the place where gun has been fired. So let us see how this is the time taken by the sound to travel from the observer to the heel and back to the observer. Let us consider if small v is the velocity of sound and s is the distance of the heel from the observer, and capital T is the total time taken by the sound from observer to the heel and again from heel to the observer is capital T. Then by using the formula, speed is equals to, distance, you may say distance is equals to speed into time. Distance, so distance is equals to speed into time. Here s is distance of the heel from the observer, then s is equals to v into t. See, twice of s will give the distance between the heel and the observer. So s will be equals to speed into time divided by 2. So by s is equals to v t upon t, we can able to find the distance between heel and the observer. So in this way, if there is a submarine under the water, so by using this concept we can able to find the distance or depth of the submarine from the surface of water. So this is how we can use the physics to calculate such types of distances. So in place of sound wave, laser can be used to measure the distance of the moon from the earth. So in case of in place of sound wave, we can use a laser to measure the distance of the moon from the earth. Laser is a laser light. Have you heard laser light? Have you seen laser light? Dear student, laser light is a a kind of monochromatic light. Chroma, you know the meaning of chroma. Chroma is color. It is mono means a single color. Laser light has a single color, It is said to be monochromatic light. So intense and unidirectional beam, it is a kind of unidirectional wave. So if small t is the time taken for the laser light or laser beam in going to and returning from the moon, then the distance can be calculated from the formula S is equals to C into T upon 2. Why upon 2? Because distance from observer to the point and again from the target to the observer, there is the distance is repeated, and that's why when we divide total distance by 2, then we'll get the actual distance between observer and the target, you may say. So in this way, next dear students, this is all about the measurement of large distances. Now the next and last point will be, for today's last point, will be estimation of very small distances. So there are so many methods to find out the very small distances, in which number one is using electron microscope. For visible light, the range of wavelength is about 4000 angstrom to 7000 angstrom. You know, 1 angstrom is equals to 10 raised to the power of minus 10 meter. So this is the wavelength range of visible light. The wavelength of visible light, you know, Vibgyor. White light is the example of visible light. Visible light has how many colors? That is 7 colors. Vibgyor. So the wavelength of all the 7 color of light lies from 4000 angstrom to 7000 angstrom. Angstrom is the unit of length, or you may say it's a very small unit of length. Hence, an optical microscope cannot resolve particles with size smaller than this. A optical microscope can never detect, can never resolve such a small distances. Then what will be the next option? See, range of length. The size of object we can across in the universe varies over a very wide range. These may vary from the size of the order of 10 power minus 14, as earlier I have discussed, 10 power minus 14 meter. This is the radius of the nucleus, of the tiny nucleus of an atom, to the size of order of 10 raised to the power of 26 meter of extent of observable universe. So we also use certain special length units for short and large length, which are given below. Let us see. These are the some units of very small lengths. That is 1 f, 1 Fermi, and you are supposed to know 1 Fermi is equals to 10 raised to the power of minus 15 meter. This is the unit for measuring the very small distances, less than 10 power minus 14. So 10 power minus 15 meter is equivalent to 1 Fermi. 1 F is equals to 10 power minus 15 meter. 1 angstrom, 10 power minus 10. And then one astronomical unit, that is 1 AU is equals to 1.496 into 10 power 11 meter. It's a very large distance. It is the average distance of sun from earth. So dear students, please remember 1 AU means it is the average distance between sun and earth. And how much it is? It is 1.496 into 10 power 11 meter. So 1.496 into 10 raised to the power of 11 meter is equivalent to 1 AU. In the same way, 1 light year. Light year, dear children, it's a very important unit. It's a unit for measuring the large distances. Actually, one light year, it is not related to light, it is related to distance. It is the distance taken by rays of light in 1 year is said to be 1 light year. One light year, the symbol of 1 light year is 1 Ly, and it is equivalent to 9.46 into 10 power 15 meter. 1 parsec. 1 parsec means it is the abbreviation of parallactic second. 1 parsec, that is 1 parallactic second, is equals to 3.08 into 10 power 16 meter. So the distance at which average radius of Earth orbits subtend an angle of 1 arc second is said to be 1 parallactic second. So these are some smallest unit and some very largest unit, and you are supposed to remember all these five. One Fermi, 1 angstrom, 1 AU, 1 light year, 1 parallactic second. You are supposed to remember these in SI system. So in this way, we have completed till measurement of lengths. Now let us see what is today's home assignments. So today you are supposed to write the following things in your classwork notes. That is, first one, definition of units, its type, system of units, then units, then fundamental units, then definition of all the base units. There are 7 base units. Its definition you are supposed to memorize and supposed to write in your classwork. And then after, some more units outside the SI units, like minutes, hours, days. These are the units outside the SI units, and you are supposed to write on your copy. And then after, measurement of length, in which we have discussed 2 points, that is measurements of large distances. There are some methods for measuring the large distances, like parallax methods. That's very important. And after that, last home assignment is measurement of small distances, and then you have to draw the table showing some very small units, that is Fermi, angstrom, and as well as some very large units, like AU, astronomical units, like parallactic second, like light years. And now in next class we will discuss the measurement of next physical quantity, that is measurement of mass. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.